Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a great musical.
My favorite song of all time, actually.
Really? I highly doubt that.
I'm kidding. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of AFTERBUZZ Bad Judge Recap, Episode 4. Erica Davis here with Marisa.
Yes, hello everyone. We're back again.
Hanging. Marisa again is saving the day. We're missing Stacy and Steph today, but we had a good time watching the show again together.
Yeah, it was funny. I got a few laughs in there.
Today's episode is called Knife to a Gunfight. Have you ever brought a knife to a gunfight, Marisa?
No, first of all, I've never personally owned a gun or personally owned a knife, so no.
Have you ever brought a pen to a test?
Yes.
That's the other analogy,
yes,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never brought a knife to a gunfight either. I don't own a gun and I don't have a knife. So if I ever got in a fight, I guess I would just have to use these.
Yeah. Hey, that works.
Okay, so this episode was about Tedward trying to protect Judge Rebecca Wright from the bad guy, Byron Cash. And Byron Cash was an ex-convict who Judge Wright put away for 5 years for, I don't really know what his offense was.
I forget the exact case, but yes.
So Byron Cash was a criminal. Judge Wright sentenced him to 5 years, and at the beginning of the episode, Tedward and Judge Wright run into him at a bar, or they see him. They see him at a bar, and so Tedward goes all, I guess, ballistic, wanting to be like super cop, and Judge Wright calls him the Black Kevin Costner.
I thought that was a really funny reference. I think it's funny how Rebecca is... I mean, she's done this. She's seen a lot of people get convicted here and there, and she's the one who does all the sentencing. So she kind of is like, one case over and done. Yeah, I did that, but moving on. That's kind of her mentality. And then I love how Tedward just went like Papa Bear throughout this whole thing, and like really had Rebecca's back.
He really did. And maybe I'm wrong. And once you guys watch the episode out there, like, did you kind of feel like they saw Byron Cash from a distance at the bar, and then they just made this huge deal of him being at the bar? Like, it wasn't as if he approached her or like said anything to her. Like, they just decided, oh, he's at the same bar, he's stalking her. Like, did I miss something there? Like,
no, I think they just really played it up that an ex-convict is now out and released, and the way they filmed it made it look like he's a very suspicious guy. Why was he even there?
Yeah.
And then they really built it up that, oh, he's after Rebecca for revenge or something like that.
I mean, so ex-convicts apparently don't have the right to hang out at local bars.
I guess not.
Note to self.
Maybe that was taken away from them. We kid, of course.
Note to self. The other story in today's episode was about the Charlie Lewis case, which I thought was really funny. So I think wasn't it?
It was a bit out there. I will say that. Quite comical though.
But it really made me laugh. I think this episode, as well as last week's episode, both actually saw cases completely through, and it made it more interesting. Now, the Charlie Lewis case, basically, he had some kind of was it obsessive compulsive or like impulse
he had
personality?
Kleptomania.
He's a kleptomaniac, and he had 3 major crimes, right?
3 crimes that they played out to be major quote
crimes,
unquote, but they really weren't major, and they're building it up that these little petty theft crimes will equal him to have 25 to life in prison, which is very excessive, not needed.
Well, very excessive, but okay, so they took these 3 petty crimes. The first one was Grand Theft Auto, was when he pushed, I guess, his neighbor off of his riding lawnmower.
Yeah, he took the lawnmower.
So silly.
Which was going probably 4 miles an hour. So it wasn't really like a hit and run or something. It was just like taking one of the most random...
It was so random.
yard work pieces of equipment.
Have you?
I don't know what he would use that for other than cutting grass.
I mean, maybe you could cut grass. Maybe if you're like really super crazy, you could chase the kids in the neighborhood on the riding lawnmower.
Those things can go fast. I grew up in the Midwest, and we personally, my family owned one, and they could go really fast. Yeah.
See, I've never been on a riding lawnmower before.
Oh,
so
they're
I don't know.
fun. They're fun if you're not really cutting grass. Yeah, they can be fun.
So that was the first offense. The second one was that he was stealing and eating caviar in the grocery store, which I thought was really funny too. Because let me tell you, when I see the caviar in the grocery store, I'm like, I would never personally pay for that myself.
No.
So I'm like, dude, I feel you. I mean,
I can understand that one. That's a slightly bigger. I mean, $300 worth when you put an actual price on it, then yes, I can understand that. But the way he was eating it, completely shirtless in a grocery store, eating it in front of everyone, no.
that was disgusting.
Yeah, that was.
And then finally, his third offense was the knife in the pawn shop. I think he made a threat to someone, and then everyone literally pulled out
a gun. I love the shot when they had the old woman, probably one of the most unseemly characters to have a random gun, and then they even like had the young kid pull out a gun too. And like everyone in that store had a gun.
Everyone, exactly. So all you like NRA guys and girls out there probably like, yes, this is why we need to have everyone carrying a gun so we can protect ourselves. That's what I thought about when I saw that. So okay, so what do you think? What do you think about Charlie in general? Like, was he too crazy? Was he believably funny? Was he just too...
I like the neurotic sense that he brought. It was a very kooky, out of left field kind of character that a lot of people are like, okay, interesting. I can understand why he would do a lot of random different acts. I think the story was definitely played up just for the comical sense, because I don't believe anyone really is that out there. But who knows? I mean, there are a lot of crazy people that are in prison, or I shouldn't really say crazy, that's not the best term, but a lot of unexpected, unpredictable people who will do the most random things for no apparent reason. So, but I did like how they played it up in a very, I guess, Marx Brothers kind of way.
Exactly.
Very slapstick also.
One thing that I thought was really funny was how Charlie represented himself. You know, he was his own defense as well as the defendant. And that's the kind of like slapstick humor that you want to see, I guess, in a 30-minute sitcom, that I feel like the first couple episodes were really lacking. I thought it was hilarious. Like,
I did think, yes, I did think that was funny, especially when he was trying to represent himself. He was like, okay, this guy has no chance. He doesn't deserve 25 years into life, but he does need help, though. He needs to go somewhere other than a prison. He needs to go to a sanitarium.
He needs to go to the psych ward for sure. Now, I can honestly say that watching Judge Wright, I guess, be empathetic towards Charlie was very sweet, because the district attorney, Tom, was like, look, Charlie has 3 major offenses. Let's put this guy away for 25 years or whatever. Yeah. Rebecca was like, no, these are essentially petty offenses. Like, let's be more lenient and let's actually get to the bottom of this. And I don't know, I really appreciated that compassion, because at first she was really like shown and portrayed as just like, kind of slutty, kind of promiscuous, kind of having all these problems, that this episode I think really showed her to be really loving and considerate, if you will.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think there was one moment in tonight's episode where she was a quote unquote bad judge. She was actually good.
Yeah.
And like, it shows that she's there for a reason. She does know how to dole out certain rights and stress her powers and whatnot, and sentence correctly for people who are more deserving of said crimes or whatever. But it just made me question. I was like, okay, she's not really bad tonight.
Yeah, she wasn't. I'm like, dude, like, you were so bad the first 2 episodes, and now you're like the good judge. Like,
yeah.
This, like, the judge that you want to go to, that you want to root for her. Yeah. Let's back up to Judy. Now, Judy was really funny when she was introduced. When I think last week when Judge Wright didn't know her name, and she was like, Julie. And now Judy is playing a major role. I thought it was really cute when she made her first entrance in tonight's episode. I was like, look, Judy, the stenographer is back, because she's kind of a funny character too.
She has a line. She has more than like 5 lines to say. I mean, hopefully, I think for last week's episode, to officially give a character a name and then some words and some interaction with the main character, it shows that they're going to build her character more throughout these episodes.
Now, I've been totally obsessed with Judge Wright's van and her car situation.
Right.
So last week,
Where was her new?
the Ford. So of course last week she went to the junkyard car lot and picked out this black Ford that had I think Coke, something about Coke on the license plate. And then today she got into like a little like mid-sized crossover. Like what happened? Like,
Maybe she changed her mind.
yeah, I guess. Like she said that the rental place only had those little, I think she referred to them as like lesmobiles or something like that. Like she was like, oh, these are like lesbian cars. And then of course she got hit on by a really cute girl and she was like, okay, I was right.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, well, maybe it just shows that she's not as bad as we think. Also, we seeing her tonight, doing everything right, and then even going back to the car that she's picking. That's a better choice.
I like that. I think they are trying to trick us. NBC is trying to trick us and make us not think any longer that she's bad, but that she is actually the ideal judge.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how Tedward, like you said, turned into Papa Bear. Like he was all about protecting her because they both got so freaked out about Byron Cash, the ex. My tongue is tied.
Yeah, Byron Cash.
Byron Cash, the ex-convict getting out of prison. They were both so freaked out about it. So, Tedward became like Papa Bear.
I think it was more Tedward that was more freaked out. He has, he's more paranoid in that way. More hypervigilant, I guess you could say.
I think so.
Which I don't know why you think the judge would after all the cases that she's seen. But I think it was funny how Tedward was playing it up. It's like, oh, he's really after you. And then even tried to prove his point that he breaks into Rebecca's own place.
He breaks into her house.
I was like, yeah, that's definitely Tedward just rolling around on the ground, making himself a sandwich.
You totally did say that. You're like, that's Tedward. I was like, it could be Judy, but you were like,
yeah, no, I was like, well, when you cut it, when he literally says someone could break into your house and then literally juxtapose it with the next scene of someone breaking into it, that's Ted making his point.
I loved it though.
That was not surprising.
How about her alarm code being 6969? Of course.
That's to be expected.
That is to be expected. We've talked so
she
much.
She thought it was funny.
6 and 9, everyone loves those two numbers together. Hey, we're not judging
that
her.
Also just shows her immaturity is still there and still intact.
Fashion. We always have to talk about her fashion every episode. I thought she was really cute tonight. I thought her little blue dress, her burgundy and blue dress was very cute and nicely, I guess, fit her form really nicely. Mm-hmm. And I'm always checking out her rings. Like, I'm obsessed with her rings. Did you notice them tonight?
No, I didn't. I don't really notice fashion. More like as much as I should.
Her rings are really cute.
Okay.
Trust
me.
I
believe you.
Trust me. What did you think about Charlie Lewis's pink or burgundy or coral colored suit that was at the end of the episode?
Well, again, that shows he's very out there, very flashy in a way that because you're not supposed to wear bright colors in a courtroom. That's very. That I think that's actually frowned upon. So it just shows that he's not supposed to be there.
It's supposed to be very understated so that, the judges and the jury and all people judging you think that you are, I guess, I don't know, not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Not a threat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about the gun face when they went to the shooting range. So Tedward takes Judge Wright to the shooting range because, again, he wants to become Papa Bear. He wants to protect her. I thought it was really funny how he was really trying to teach her how to use a gun. And then she tells us that she's been shooting guns since she was 11 years old.
Yeah. She's been running around with the big boys. Like she knows how to handle herself. I thought that was a nice backstory to her and shows how she grew up, and she's more, maybe not as feminine, I guess you can say, not in the mean way, but just like she grew up tough.
Yeah.
And that's her rough, I guess, exterior.
And we've been trying to figure out like why she became a bad judge and like, why she's in this situation where, she's kind of living on the edge. And I think we're getting bits and pieces by and by about, her lifestyle. I liked when she talked about her father teaching her how to shoot guns when she was 11 years old, and she compared it to how the other little girls were going to ballet and she was at the shooting range. And I think that's a really good dynamic to see between her childhood and her friends' childhoods. So.
Yeah, and she didn't live the conventional life of a child, like the normal childhood, I guess you can say, and also just shows when there was a moment in the courtroom and it's like, oh, a female judge, they're letting you be a judge. I was like, I think she kind of grew up to the point where like Probably having the mentality to go against people, be like improve herself.
Wanting to play with the big boys, always playing with the big boys is what
Yeah.
I can see her doing throughout her entire life.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk really, really quickly about the relationship between the district attorney, Tom, and her. So Tom wants again to put away Charlie Lewis for the 25 years or whatever. Like, how do you feel about Judge Wright going against the grain and saying, look, okay, basically, I'm going to help him. I'm going to tell him what the penal codes are, and I'm going to tell him he has a right to waive his trial by jury. Like, she was really trying to help him, considering that Tom is her colleague and her professional in her office space.
Right.
Like, she basically was like, I'm going to do what I think is better for this guy as opposed to doing what the Brotherhood would say we should do. What do you think about that?
I think it's also good on her character to know good judgment in that way. And she knows that this guy is not threatening and won't really hurt society, more so hurt himself in a way.
Yeah.
So to anything that can help him out, lessen his so-called sentence from 25 is just like, and again, to go against Tom, because every episode seems like she's always going against him. Just is another way for her to win against him.
I wonder if there's, no, not that we've seen her and Tom hook up or anything, and not that I'm trying to put her in bed with every single character on the show, although I really have. I wonder if there's some like sexual tension, or like what is the tension between those two? Like, why is she trying so hard to always, as you said, win? Like, she wants to always be right when it comes to...
Well, I think it's also just the power struggle. I mean, she's the judge who has the overall say at the end of everything, and he's going against a woman.
Yeah.
So I think it's, again, it just goes to the society and the power struggle that they're constantly going against each other.
I like that power struggle, though. I think it gives a really...
It's entertaining, for sure.
It is entertaining. Highlights for me for this episode, you tell me yours too. I keep talking about Charlie, but I just think he was so consistently funny. I loved when he was doing his different voices. He did his, I think he did his governor voice.
Yeah, no, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He was like, really? Is that what that was?
Like, no, not really.
Not at all. I totally didn't catch that either. I'm glad he clarified, because that went totally over my head. I also liked his different personalities when he came out of the courtroom and he was like fussing into the bush and then looking back at himself. Right. I was like, this guy is really, really funny. Also, after he was interviewed by the psychiatrist, Gary.
Yeah.
He was interviewed by Gary. He stole his keys, and I think that
stole his pen.
He stole his pen, and didn't he steal his car keys too?
I don't think the keys, but the pen, especially when he was asking, how much do you have that urge to steal things? And then he's like, yeah, I stole your pen.
And I'm just like, we started as an audience becoming really empathetic to Charlie's plight, and then he goes and, does this, like he continues to be a klepto.
Yeah, it just shows that he needs psychiatric help, not... Prison won't do that.
That's what I thought was really cool. What did you think was cool about tonight's episode? Like, what were your highlights?
I really did enjoy Charlie, because he was such an out of this world kind of character and storyline. It was just fun to follow, and I wonder what other kind of kooky cases they can bring up that will top that so far. I mean, we're only 4 episodes in, so I mean, it'll be fun to see what other kind of crazy things they'll bring.
What about at the very end of the episode, so Byron Cash, again, Tedward has been on this mission to protect the judge. He's taken her to the gun range. He's basically vowed his life to lay his life down to protect her. And then Byron Cash, the convict, comes up and he's thanking the judge for sentencing him because he says that it changed his life. And so, of course, as he's thanking her, Tedward, being as overzealous as he was this entire episode, tases the poor guy
him.
with a stun gun. Like,
that was not deserved. But I think this just shows Tedward, actually, that like he just went over the top, and that his slow realization was like, oh yeah, my bad.
My bad. And he was like, dude, don't sue me.
But I protect you. I got your back.
I thought it was, again, a really, really sweet moment, but I like the way, again.
He's like, please don't sue me. I don't have money.
You know what? I wonder how much money do bailiffs make?
I wouldn't know.
I don't know either.
We should look that up.
We should, so we can know next episode.
Yeah. Or let us know.
I know, out there, guys, how much do bailiffs make? Because we have no idea. But yeah, I liked how Byron Cash was thanking her. So basically everything, again, came full circle. Her judgment and her assessment of Charlie seemed to be right on par with what she did for Byron. So I think, like you said, like she definitely won this episode. She won with Byron, and then at the end, I think Charlie got 2 years.
Oh yeah, only 2 years, and it wasn't at prison. It was at a a minimum security.
Minimum security, yeah.
Place instead.
So
That'll help him.
So considering that this episode really showed Kate Walsh in the most positive, most even keeled light that we've seen, like, where do you think we go from here? Like, we've seen her be promiscuous, we've seen her substance abuse, we've seen her be good, we've seen her be caring. Like, what next?
I think they started the show off with that she's really a bad character. She does all these outrageous things, and now they're trying to redeem her in a way. And I think if we're going to see a few episodes where they're going to really build her character and a moral judgment, and that, like, she's actually good. But I think more episodes after that they're going to bring her down back to the bad judge ways that we know. They're going to build a character and then knock her down.
Okay, my prediction is that I always love doing these predictions because I'm like pulling them out of thin air.
Yeah.
I do believe she's going to continue on, I guess, an upward. Oh, I love the prediction.
And now,
I love the prediction
AFTERBUZZ
music.
TV.
Yes,
Very fitting for Halloween.
I love it. Yeah, I predict that she's going to continue doing good things. More so than bad things. And I think when she starts going back into her bad judge ways, I think we're going to be very disappointed. So I think we're going to get so used to seeing her be the champion that maybe maybe she gets busted for a DUI. Maybe, wouldn't that be good? It would be bad, but
that would be very bad.
Maybe she gets in some...
Maybe not DUA, but maybe for driving under the influence of something else. Like being high or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. I like this episode, Marisa. You like it?
Everything's very entertaining, yes.
Knife to a gunfight. Don't bring knives to a gunfight. Literally. Don't bring pens to test.
Yeah.
I guess. All right, Marisa, where can they find you out there?
Everyone can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Erica Renee D. Great episode today. Until next week, see ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.